I'm not media. Do you need this? Do I need this thing?
Community board.
Our community board.
Who's community board?
Our community board.
Who's community board?
Our community board.
Okay.
When we say no,
We mean no.
when we say no,
We mean
when
no.
we say no,
We mean no.
when we say no,
We mean no.
when we say no.
We mean no.
Did you know that every black community in Brooklyn is being targeted for gentrification? Every black community. There's not one black community in Brooklyn that is not being targeted for gentrification. I'm talking about Brownsville, East New York, Bed-Stuy, Bushwick, Flatbush, Crown Heights, Fort Greene. Every black community in Brooklyn is being targeted for gentrification. And you know who's at the helm of that? Eric Adams. We call him Uncle Adams. Okay, let's say that again. We call him Uncle Adams.
Uncle Adams.
Hello, Uncle Adams. Shame. Hello, Uncle Adams.
Shame.
Hello, Uncle Adams.
Shame.
Selling out the black community one by one, trying to develop our communities and put luxury high-rises in every one of our communities. What are we going to say to him? Hello, Uncle Adams.
Hello,
Hello, Uncle Adams.
Hello, Uncle Adams.
Hello, Uncle Adams.
Hello, Uncle Adams.
We know he done sold us out. That's clear. He done sold us out. Every black community is being gentrified. And you know what he said? He put this in writing. He said gentrification is not a bad thing. Gentrification is not a bad thing. That's because he's not living in the shelters. We got 65,000 people living in the shelters and another 20,000 people in the streets. Because they keep doing that. Luxury high-rises. Right there. You see that right there? Right there. Look this up. Who's in those buildings? Not us.
Rich people.
Not us. Not us. So we're going to start this press conference. I do have a press statement that I wanted to make, and then we're going to hand it over to other people to speak. Whose community?
Our community.
Whose community?
Our community.
Whose community?
Our community.
Hello? Hello? Okay, this is our press release. This press release is coming from the movement to protect. There's no longer on?
Maybe point it.
Hello? Can you hear me? Yeah. Can you hear me now? Okay. The Brooklyn Anti-Gentrification Network is launching its 10th demand that community boards be elected and they have veto power over land use matters. The City Council just passed 2 land use text amendments, the mandatory inclusion housing zone text and the ZQA, zone for equality affordability. Both had an overwhelming negative response from community boards, in that over 90% of the community boards voted them down. But now they will be law. This shows how powerless the community boards are in New York City when it comes to big-time real estate development. One of the primary jobs of community boards is to have a say on land use issues. But clearly, them being just advisory cannot stop serious development interests from impacting local neighborhoods. The other side of the coin is that community boards also need to be more representative of the residents in which they are supposed to represent.
Yes.
Currently, community boards are recommended by the city council person and the borough president, but all are appointed by the borough president. This puts a lot of power in the hands of the borough president, who might be more pro-development than pro-people. Thus, BAN is demanding that community boards be elected and not be political appointments. Today's conference, we are talking about a lawsuit that has been filed against Community Board 9 members, the New York City Department of City Planning, revolving around a request to do a study which would end up with Flatbush, Crown Heights being just like East New York, Williamsburg, and downtown Brooklyn, as developers see the opportunity to make a lot of money from this community because it is a community of color which resides next to the major institutions of Brooklyn, Prospect Park, Botanical Gardens, and the Brooklyn Museum. The lawsuit lawsuit, the first of its kind, is being brought by local residents who are demanding $10 million in monetary sanctions against the community board, the removal of community board members, the voiding of all work performed by the Department of City Planning based upon a rezoning request submitted by Community Board 9. The residents overwhelmingly don't want, because of the known fact that when rezoning happens in communities of color, a wave of displacement and gentrification will happen. Flatbush Crown Heights is the densest and also the second most affordable community in Brooklyn. A wave of displacement of residents in this community due to a rezoning will have a devastating effect upon the residents who reside in this community, as well as the city at large. With every black community targeted for gentrification, the only place these residents will go will be into the streets. With 65,000 people already in the shelter and 30,000 of them being children, it is important to preserve our affordable communities instead of trying to gentrify it in the name of greed.